All right, I'm live. Just to let you know. You're welcome. Hi, Shauna. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing good. Want to figure out how to put a Milky Way in a Blue Hour shot tonight, Shauna? I'm doing good. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Everything's fine here. Just the same old, excuse me, the same old life problems that everybody else has, I'm sure. So we just deal with it. But nothing too terrible, so we're doing good. Yeah. Hope you're doing good too. Hope you're getting out, taking some photos. Some days I think that's what I live for. Yeah, I'm a landscape photographer first, and then I'm a wildlife photographer second. Mostly because I think in the beginning I really couldn't afford a long lens, and shooting 200 millimeter just wasn't inspiring at all. I wasn't really getting any photos that I really liked, so I stuck to landscape. And then when I was able to get a long lens, that was about the time I rented a long lens, 150 to 600 when I would go to Alaska. And then after that, I needed a long lens, especially when I went to Alaska. So I've got the 150 to 600 Tamron. So it's a good lens, especially for the price, and it's done me well, and I've gotten some beautiful photos. So if I'm a landscape photographer and a wildlife photographer, I guess that would make me a nature photographer. So I don't know. I'm just a guy that likes to go out and take pictures, I guess. Get down to it. So yeah. Yeah. I'm going to wait a few more minutes here before I get going. try to get a couple more people in here. It's just the beginning. Some people like to straggle in, so we've only got a couple people here. But I'm still trying to get people used to me being here every Sunday night. And I kind of fell down on announcing this one. I kind of announced it late, but whatever. Ah, yeah. When you're with me out at Caddo Lake, we're going to be talking about different compositions, and I'd urge you to go to. As a matter of fact, what I can do is send you a couple links that are some galleries to some of my Caddo Lake photos. You know, I could do an image review and talk about composition maybe next Sunday night. It's probably a good idea. I'm gonna write that down. But composition, well, come on. Gotta get a piece of scrap paper here. Next Sunday, you think you'd like that? Okay.
Hey, baby.
Yes. Yes, Darlene.
Next Sunday.
What's that?
We're traveling next Sunday.
Oh, I forgot. It's 4th of July weekend, so we'll be on the road. So it'll have to be the Sunday after that, Shauna. So what does that? Thank goodness I have Darlene. Otherwise, who knows what kind of shape I'd be in. So that will be that would be like the 12th of July. And I will put I'll schedule that right away. That way you can watch for it to come on and get announcements and stuff when it comes on. So, all right. Who else do we have? I know I got a couple people here. Pardon me. Sweet. Right on. I take it this is going to be your first trip to Caddo Lake. You're just going to absolutely love it. Right on. Thank you, Rachel. You're the best. 6:03. Well, I'm kind of waiting until 6:05 to get this all rolling, so that's okay. Hope you're doing good, Rachel. But anyway, I was talking about Caddo Lake. You'll really enjoy Caddo Lake. It's really laid back. You know, you're not hiking 100 miles. All you're doing is dragging your gear from the lodge to the boat down at the what am I trying to say? Down at the marina. We get into the boat. We go out there, take pictures, turn around, come back, drag our stuff to the lodge, and then do what we want to do. A lot of times we'll do some tutorials, image reviews, see what we did that day. Go eat some alligator, some catfish. But it's quite an experience. Caddo Lake is a place that I've come to really, really love. So, and I enjoy the people that are there too. They're really good people. Todd is usually our guide for most of our trips, and he's a character. That's all I can say about Todd is that he's a character for sure. Yeah. So, all right. Let me see. It's 6:06. So let's get going here, okay? Otherwise, you guys are going to get bored. There, and you may have seen this in the past. Let me see if I can get quickly. This was 2000. Whoops, let me go up here. 2000 and what was it? Time really is flying past me, I tell you. Oh, this is, let me get into the right folder here. Let me see here. Let me do it this way. I'll do this. It's easier for me to do it this way. Okay, now this one was taken. Sort view details. This was taken over at the Alvord Desert, and this was June of 2021, just after midnight. So this was over. Let me get this one reset there. At nighttime, sometimes the camera doesn't necessarily get the white balance right. So that's got a little bit of a yellow or a green hue to it. But let me see. And then the other one was taken in a different location. And it was taken at actually at 3 in the afternoon on a very, very overcast day. And that was January 5th, 2021. So, okay, let's get going on this. First thing I want to do is I want to process these separately, keeping in mind that I'm going to be what I'm going to be doing with them. Basically, I'm going to be wanting to get some definition. Whoops, I went to look for that. Where is it at? Here, hold on a second. Here we go. There we go. Can you see that? So, hope you can see that. This is what we're going to try to achieve tonight. I just did this one quite a while ago, and I'm going to try to take out this kind of stuff in the one that I do tonight. Plus, I'm going to blend the horizon in a little bit better. What I did with this one is I created a mask for this, and it was kind of a pain in the butt to get the mask just right. And since then, what? Hey, Damon, thanks for showing up, man. I'm going to be seeing you this coming weekend for our reunion. So, all right, let me see. This photo right here is what we're getting ready to achieve. So, sometimes I look at the chat and get a little distracted. So, bear with me. This is a live situation. And I'm not used to being live in front of a huge crowd of 7 people. So, all right, the photo I've got up here, hopefully you guys can see it. Let me make sure you guys are not seeing it. So let me do this. I've learned that I've got to, there we go. Every time I go to a different situation in here, I've got to reshare the screen. So, all right. This is the photo we're going to try to achieve. And so you can see on this horizon, it just doesn't look realistic to me. And it just didn't really blend the way I like to have had it. So since then, Lightroom has given us the ability to be able to, I should say Photoshop has given us a really good ability to be able to swap skies in. So I won't have to mess so much with the mask on this. Plus, I can fade it from the horizon up into the sky better on this one with doing it that method. So, okay. All right. So that's what we're going to be doing. So now I have to go back up and share this. Kaboom. Otherwise, you're going to look at my ugly mug. All right. So now I've got the building we're going to use, and we've got this really funky looking sky, but we're going to fix that. But let's work on it first. First thing I want to do is I want to make sure that I've got these 2 checked. or I can look at it and see which one I like the best. So it's actually given it some barrel distortion that I don't really need. So I can leave that off, but I'm going to leave chromatic aberration on. So cheers. Got my ale of ginger. Got my ale of ginger. So let's go up here to the top. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color profile to a neutral color profile. And that will kind of eliminate some of the shadow effect in here, because at nighttime you're not going to have shadows really. And that's why I took this one on an overcast day, so there wouldn't be any shadows. But I hit the Adobe Neutral and it gives me a flatter histogram. You can see up here in the corner. And then it also makes the whole thing more flat, so I don't have to worry about shadows and stuff. So if you're going to be doing this, make sure that you understand that you're going to have to take this during blue hour, which is just before or after sunset. And you could also do it like I did and do it on an overcast day so you don't have any shadows. It looks kind of funky if you got shadows and it's nighttime. So keep these things in mind if you're going to be doing this kind of work on your photos. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is going to be going down here to the white balance and seeing if there's anything, one of these automatic settings are going to help me at all. Now, what I'm looking for now isn't necessarily a nice warm photo like you could do during the daytime. You can see that it looks really kind of brown. Whoops, let me zoom out a little bit here. There we go, something like that. You can see it's looking kind of brown. So I might go down here to tungsten, which is really blue, or fluorescent. Fluorescent looks a little bit better, but I think it got a little bit of purple. You can slide your tint or your temperature sliders around. And I wanted kind of a blue feel, cool blue feel for this. And we can go back and we can change this later. So let's go over here to the sky and do something with this situation. So I'm going to come up here to the top and I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to go to Adobe Neutral. It's going to flatten it out. And so I wanted to straighten out the horizon, but I think I want to reset the crop and leave it this direction. I kind of like it leaning that way a little bit. So, all right, so now let's go down here. We've changed the color profile to Adobe Neutral. I'm going to do the same thing with some of these white balances just to see if I got something that'll help me here. Of course, they get warmer and warmer as I go down until I get to tungsten, and then it turns really blue. Let me try fluorescent because sometimes that's blue. So that one doesn't look too bad. I might leave it there for now. But I want to kind of in the sky a little bit and maybe bring out that Milky Way a little. I might give it a little I don't want to bring contrast in. I want to mess with it down here. So if you guys have any questions as I go, just put them in the chat because I can kind of keep checking the chat here. So I'm going to hit some highlights, maybe bring the shadows down a little bit, and then bring the whites up. You can see the Milky Way is getting brighter. But instead of bringing in some blacks, I'm just going to bring the exposure down a little bit, I think. All right, so let's start there. I might bring blue into it, I think, or maybe take some green out of it. So I'll pull the tint over to the magenta side. So you can see over here on the left side, if you're having a green effect that you don't want there, pull it away from the green side over to the magenta side over here. And the same with the temperature slider. If it's not blue enough and it's If it's too yellow, too warm, just you can pull your slider back over here like this, something like that. And remember, you're the artist, you're the photographer. Get the look that you would like to have with your photo. Some definition, a little definition. I don't think I'm going to use texture. Too crunchy, and I still like to have a nice soft feel with the sky. People that know me will understand this one, but with me, it's kind of a running joke when I see a Milky Way in some of the photos that I look at on the internet, and it's really, really, really pronounced. You know, you've seen them before where they just look like a strip of bacon in the sky. So it's kind of a running joke for me is to put a hashtag in, hashtag sky bacon. So I don't want mine to look like that. Another way to affect these shadows, if you click on it, you can pull them up and down with your keys. And I like to mess with my keys more than I like to mess with the sliders. So, all right. So that's looking pretty good, but I'm going to come down to my tone curve and just kind of refine it a little bit. Remember, you can slide it back and forth, way back and forth to get the look so you can see what the effect is it's having. Okay, so the highlights don't have a huge effect, but it does give it some more clarity, I guess you could say. Now I'm bringing the shadows up and it's affecting the edges more. And there's this natural vignetting in here that I may deal with or I may not. Here, from the corner up here, and you can see where the gray, and you can see that it's a little darker up there, and I'm going to bring the brightness vignette. And I'm going to be doing more. I'm going to affect the vignette more in Photoshop when we get into Photoshop. Okay. All right. So there, I brought the vignetting out somewhat. You can see down here in the corner, you can see these streaks of green and red and stuff like that. They call that air glow. And the first time I saw it, I was down on the Illinois River down in Kirby, down in the near Cave Junction, and I was camping out on the river, taking pictures of the Milky Way. The Illinois Valley has got some of the darkest skies in the state, especially if you get away from Cave Junction a little bit. You get some beautiful Milky Ways down there. And down on the Illinois River, there are little side channels at certain times of the year that give you these beautiful reflections. So I was down there photographing the Milky Way with these reflections and stuff, and brought my photos back, and I'm looking through them, trying to figure out what the heck this rainbow effect was on the horizon. I'd never seen it before, and I actually tried. I thought it was something wrong with the camera, something wrong with the photo, and I was trying to figure out how to get rid of it. And then I posted it up just the way it was, and somebody said, "Oh, nice air glow." And so I went, air glow. I never heard of air glow, but there it is. So you may see that in your photos, and that's what it is. So, all right, quit goofing around here, and let's get this thing the way we want it. Because what we're going to do is we're going to process these. See, this one's a little bit too blue, I think. And that's another thing, is that you go away and you let your eyes adjust and then come back and look at it again. So this is a really good exercise in doing that. You can leave and you can kind of compare the hue that each one has so that you can kind of match them when you get them into Photoshop. But we can change all that if we needed to. So here, I'm making this a little bit more blue. And I'm making this one a little bit more warmish. just to kind of match them. This one here is still a little bit warm. Moving this just a little at a time. Okay. All right, let's stop goofing around here. So, all right, so I'm going to highlight both of these down here in the bottom. You can see that I've got that one highlighted. I hit Control or Shift. Control is if you're going to choosing them one at a time. If you've got a whole block of photos, Shift and then click, and it'll highlight them all. And then we can right-click this and hit Edit in. I have to think about this. Open in layers, as layers in Photoshop. And because I've got the beta version, it's one open it in it, but I'm usually using the regular version, which is 2026. So, all right, they're going to open up there, and they're all going to be in the same file. You can see the top layer is the sky. Now it's rendering the building. Okay. Actually, I did this wrong. I don't need this here. I'm going to delete this. So let me back up. Okay. I'm still caught in doing it the old-fashioned way. I tell you what, I'm such a goofball. Let me see if I'm in the right place or not. All right, so you can see over here that the Milky Way sky that we've been goofing with. Yep, I know. Give me a second here. I'm on the. I'm looking at the screen over here. So, what we did with the sky, we have to export it separately. So I'm going to go back to Lightroom. Okay. So I'm Lightroom here. We got the sky, and we're going to export. We're going to go File. Now I'm going to bring it into Photoshop. Okay, now watch. I'm going to bring this one in. Let me get back in. I'm going to close this out. Now, reason I'm scatterbrained is that I had in my mind still that I needed to make those masks, and I forgot to remember I'm doing that in Photoshop with sky replacement. So, all right, so we've got this one ready, and we've got this one ready. So we're going to take this one and this one. We're going to go edit in Adobe Photoshop. We're going to hit OK. So now they're going to be in two separate files. All right, let me get over here and share. This one, share. Okay. All right, we're there. Tell you what, sometimes I just don't know myself. I get in here and I get a little bit, I don't know. Okay, now I've got these two photos in there, and you guys can see them in Photoshop. So I brought them both in, but the first thing I want to do is I want to take this sky and I want to save it outside of Photoshop. We're going to go hit File, Save a Copy. We're going to do a PSD file. We're going to save it someplace where we can find it, which is going to be probably right in the same folder, 61321. All right, we'll save it there, 613. I think that's how you do it. Say, I don't know why. I know why, because it's from the old days, but all right. Now I'm going to do here is go up and I'm going to hit Edit, Sky Replacement. Okay. All right. So now, because the sky's already in here, it's going to render it and it's going to put it in there. Okay. But you want to put a new one in, you can come up here, drop this down. You come down to the folder. Whoops. You come down here to here, this little square, I think. Yeah, that's right. And then you hit edit PSD and you hit open, and it'll go in here just as it is, just as it just did. I can't talk. Okay. So I'm just a dumb guy with a camera. I am just getting used to being a multimedia YouTube star with seven people following me here. So, all right, now we've got the sky in there and we've got the foreground in there. And if you notice what I did is that I went into the sky replacement. You can see right here, the sky replacement module is right there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my horizon down here, and I'm going to, I think it's no fade edge, not shift edge, fade edge. I think that's where it's at. Yeah, there it is. And then I'm going to pull it over here, and it kind of blends that. Whoops, not too far with it. Let me go back this way. Oh, there we go. That's where I want to go. All right, so now what this is doing, the shift edge, what that's doing is it's moving the edge where it blended it up and down. The fade edge, what it's doing is it's affecting how it fades, how wide it fades. So it gets either real narrow and almost sharp where it fades, or it will fade in a more of a larger gradient, is what I'm trying to say. So if you can look at this and you can see where that's what that's doing here, I'm going to pull this down. Whoops. I want to shift the edge again. See, I'm still seeing some clouds in there. I don't want to see because there's no clouds in the sky, but there was in the picture. Now, a way we could have affected that, I think, is to make the sky brighter. But I think we're where we want to be. Here, let me see. And the pictures your pictures will be different too, depending on what you're doing. I'll bring it down. I wanted on the horizon a little bit bright on the horizon, just to give a blend between the foreground and the background. All right. All right. Also, you can change the temperature of the sky here too. Okay. That's where we were. All right. Let me see. You can also flip the sky if you wanted to, back and forth, but I want it this way. You can do change the lighting mode in your foreground. I usually have it on multiply because I don't want it really giving that effect to the photograph. But you can do you can change the brightness of the foreground. Lighting the background is the sky there. There we go. We're giving that horizon a little bit more juice like I wanted. And then the color adjustment, we probably won't do that. You can see down here, you can see how it affects the bottom. Just go through here and play with these. When you get it the way you like it, hit OK. And it's going to make some masks and stuff over here. You can see right here that I think this one might be where that is at. Let me see here. Let me get my paintbrush, get it way down, and I'll experiment with this. Yeah, that's right where it is. Okay, now what I'm looking at is it looks like I've got some remnants of a sky up here. So I'm going to hit this. I'm going to change that mask. until those ghost clouds are gone. So you can edit the masks and stuff if you want. Okay. All right. I'm going to just close that out right now. Okay. Well, what do you think? That was easy, wasn't it? I made it look hard, but all we really did is we had this first image. We went into edit and we went into sky replacement. That's all we did. So we brought it into from Lightroom into Photoshop. We brought it up into and clicked in sky replacement, and then that brought us to this. So, all right. So I know what I want to do is next is I want to hit Control Shift Alt or Option E. And what that's going to do if you look over here to the right, what it did is it made a layer that combined all the adjustments and the blending and everything that we did into one layer. Okay. So what I want to do now is I want to come in here and I want to get rid of this kind of stuff over here. And a good way to do it if you're in Photoshop is go to the Remove tool. The Remove tool is something that they brought out here the last few updates, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty smart. And you can, hold on a second. You can go up here and you can click on generative AI off or on, or one that says auto. And I just put it on auto. Sometimes it does a good job, sometimes it doesn't, but I always like to go to auto first and and this is really good for dust bunnies up in the sky, you know, and you can go and, whoops. Go and you can hit the bracket buttons on your keyboard, make it big or small. So now what we're going to do with this is we're going to get rid of this pipe here. I like to do things a little at a time. I guess you could go through and do it all at once, but I hate waiting. I'd rather wait a little bit at a time, a bunch of times, I guess. And this will depend on how snappy your computer is. It takes a little bit of horsepower to get this to work, but it really works good. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, get rid of this piece of black plastic. This might take me a minute here, but once we're done, it'll look a lot better than this trashy yard we got going on here. All right, I want to get rid of this thing here. Just color it all in and hit the check mark at the top. Voila. So we're getting there. So now what I want to do is I'm going to come over from this side and I'm going to get rid of this stuff over here. Oh, that looks terrible. So we're going to redo that. All right, let's get this piece of black plastic out of there. It's messing things up. All right, another way that you can do this while I'm sitting here talking about it is that you can circle it. Like this. And then you get your little control panel here and hit generative fill. And then you can put in here, this is that new AI stuff. Where's it at? Oh, where did it go? All right, window. Oh, there it is. All right, you can hit remove or something like that. All right, don't. All right, I don't know. This is a new panel, so they're trying to push these new AI, which are fine, but just hit generate and it should be it should generate a couple options for you here. That's one reason why I like to have the Photoshop beta version, because a lot of times it gets this stuff out and you can play with it before it gets into your normal Photoshop. All right, and if you look over here on the right, it's created different options for you. There's one there, one there, one there. Let me zoom into it a little bit so you can see it. There we go. All right, so these are the options that it gave me. Where did it go? Oh, I guess it rendered it, took it away. Oh, there they are. God, I got lost for a minute. All right. I was clicking on the layer and not the, or the mask and not the layer. So, all right, check out this area that I surrounded here. And we've got different options on how it fills it in. That one looks pretty cool. That one looks better. So I'm going to go with that one. All right, so we got all that stuff out of the foreground. I'm going to leave this bale of hay here. Yeah, just it just hit enter and it'll remove it. True story. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to keep that. I'm going to do a 50% gray layer. So the way I do that is I hit my layer tab down here, which is a square with a plus in it, hit Alt or Option, and you should get a layer here, dialog box here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Soft Light and fill with a neutral color, which is 50% gray. And then hit OK. So now you can make an action for this too. I've got one up here in my Actions tab. You can see it says 50% gray. And so all the stuff that you do is a routine. Create an action for it. It'll make it all a lot easier for you. All right. So I got a 50% gray layer. And I might even do a adjustment layer here. I'll do maybe a levels or a curves layer. And then just do some global adjustment on it, just because it was still a little bit bright. Pull a little contrast out of it this way. And then go up to my 50% gray layer. I'm going to hit my brush. I'm going to do my brackets, my right closing bracket, and make it as big as I can make it. And now I want to do a little bit of a vignette around here. So I'm going to go around it like this and kind of like this. Then I'm going to go up to Edit and hit Fade Brush Tool. I'm going to bring it all the way over, and I'm going to bring it in a little at a time until I get it where I want it. Here we go. I think that looks fine. I may still want to go back to this adjustment layer and adjust things after this a little bit. If you guys can see that, I sometimes forget to zoom in on it like I should. So I'm just going to do a little bit more in the corner here, or at the bottom, I should say. And I don't think I'm going to extend the vignette up into the sky, but if I do, I'm going to do another 50% gray layer. Let's give it a try and see, why not? Let's give it a whirl. Then go up to Edit, hit Fade Brush Tool all the way over, and then spray a little bit of a vignette in here. That's too much. Hit OK. There we go. That kind of brings things towards the center, towards the building and the core of the Milky Way too. So I like to zoom in, zoom out on it, see if there's anything that I missed. So, all right. What do you guys think? I think maybe it could be a little bit brighter. I don't want to bring the midtones up, do I? There, I'm bringing the highlights up now. It's just a little bit. It's a fine line. So, all right. What do you guys think? You think you could do that? I know I was kind of confused in the beginning, but I've been doing this kind of stuff for quite a while. And when I first started doing masks and everything, all you had was the brush tool and stuff to mask it in with, and it was just really hard, especially if you had trees and stuff. That was virtually impossible. But now it selects it really, really well. So what do you guys think? Let's do this. I'm going to do my Orton effect and see what it does to it. So we still got a couple more minutes. Put this back in. And if you don't have this Orton effect as an action, message me or email me. Email me and let me know. The light layer isn't going to affect much because the only light is in the center. And actually it kind of takes away definition. So I'm going to pull that to the left. And then let's see what the dark layer does, because we probably don't want to use it either, but you can always go backwards with this stuff. Yeah, see, it's not doing much at all to it. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it right here. Okay. File, layers, I should say, and you can hit flatten image. If you're happy with it. I'm trying to think if I want to maybe dodge in just that house. Let me do this. Let me get another 50% gray layer. Let me take the white brush, hit X, will change it from black to white. And I'm going to do this. Whoops, I'm below this one. This one. Control, let me go backwards. Let's get this out of here. Now, let me get another gray layer, 50% gray layer. I'm going to take my white brush and I'm going to touch it there. Then I'm going to go up to Edit, hit Fade Brush Tool, come to the left, and then bring it in. Just lightly. Hit OK. Yeah, I kind of like that better. What do you guys think? And then if I decide it's a little too much, I can bring the percent, or should say the opacity down a little bit to make a fine tune. So, all right. Any questions, you guys? Have any questions at all for me? Because I think you guys could do this, right? Simple. All right, layer, flatten image. Now you can save it from here, hit save a copy. All right, and I like to save a high resolution version of it. So I hit PSD. I'll save it in the same folder, hit save. Okay. Now, if you want to save it for the internet, also, when I bring these in, I'm bringing them in from Lightroom. Where am I at here? In Pro Photo RGB. It's a broader color space, okay? So if you export from Lightroom into Photoshop, make sure that you're using that color space in Lightroom, and then it follows it over to Photoshop. So what you want to make sure is that when you are going to create a photo to show on the internet, on Facebook or Instagram or something like that, then you want to make sure that you're doing sRGB. Okay. So you convert the profile over here. You hit edit, hit convert to profile, and then the source, which is what we're doing now, and the destination. The destination's going to be sRGB. Hit OK. Converts it to sRGB. And then you change the size that you need. Like if I'm going on to the internet, I'm going to be doing 2048 and hit OK. So it goes to 2048. Then I hit File, Export, Save for Web. And what this does is it will allow you to make the file size smaller. So you can get low, medium, high, maximum. And you look down here in the corner, you can see how large it is. So if you're on the internet, I'll go medium, maybe high. If I'm going to Instagram or something like that, I jack it up a little bit, but, and then hit save. It'll ask you where. And then I'm going to save it. I'm just going to go to my desktop for now. Hit save. Poosh. All right, now you've saved it for the internet. Okay. And some printing services want you to turn it in as sRGB too. sRGB also. So now I'm going to hit Control Z, and I'm going to back up twice because I changed the color profile, or I changed the color profile. And then I also changed the size. So I went back twice to get back to where it was. As a matter of fact, if you hit back one more time, which is Control Z, all right, we're right back to our layers. So I'm going to hit Control Shift Z to hit back to go forward again. All right, so now I want to take this. I'm going to hit close. I'm going to hit, it's going to ask me if I want to save everything. I'm going to hit save and hit yes. And then I'll come over here to Lightroom, and it'll be in Lightroom. So if you wanted to, you can certainly make some more adjustments and stuff here too. So, all right. All right. That's it. That's all I got to say, you guys. Unless you guys got some questions. And I've got time for questions. So lay them on me. I'm here for you. So you guys know how to get to my website. http://gry-randall.com. And that should send you to my website. So you can go there and check out the stuff I've got there if you want. I got a couple workshops coming up. I got another one coming up next spring that I'm pretty excited about. I'm just about ready to announce, and that's going to be with a couple photographers you probably already know. Come here, Hazel. How about come up here, little dog? How about come on? There you go. Hazel says it's time for me to go throw the ball. Right? Oh, I know, you little dog. Oh no, looky. Oh, look there. Up here. Say hi to everybody. Hello, everybody. Arr, you silly girl. You get down. I'll be with you in a minute. So, hey, Bryce. I'm glad you're here, man. Yeah, I appreciate you coming. I appreciate everybody that's showed up here tonight. I really do. I'm not quite sure who everybody is until you leave a comment or remark down here at the lower right hand side. Hey, Bryce, I really appreciate that, man. This is one of my favorite images, I guess. See, always walk away from your work, look away, then come back and make some changes to it. Because you're going to see stuff that you didn't see when you're sitting there staring at it. So yeah, anything I can do for you guys, just let me know. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions for future videos, let me know. I'm got a list here. Oh, and also I determined that next weekend's the 4th of July weekend, so we won't be doing this. But we'll start again the weekend after that. And that was what, the 12th or something like that? Let me get my calendar up here. July 12th will be the next one. So put that in your calendar, July 12th. If you got nothing else better to do, have an ale of ginger with me and Hazel, and we'll sit and process some pictures, okay? So, all right, everyone. I appreciate you coming. I wanted to keep these at let me see, am I even showing you the right frame? I do this all the damn time. Did you guys see Hazel? So I don't even know what picture. Yeah, this confuses me. So, Shauna, thanks for showing up. Appreciate it. I really do. And Rachel, you too. Thanks for showing up. And Shauna, reach out to me if you want me to send you some Caddo Lake photos for you to look at. And as a matter of fact, on the 12th, I think what we're going to do is we're going to talk about composition. And July 12th, composition. That's one question that I'm asked a lot, especially in my workshops and stuff. It's easier for me to explain it in my workshops when we're right there at the scene, because then we can choose some different compositions, and I can show you, different options and what I'd look for and stuff, So, but an image review will allow you to at least kind of look at what I was looking at when I took the photo. So, let me see. I'm in Lightroom here. Let me see. Look at this one here. When you're in Lightroom, if you do the crop tool up here and hit O, it'll switch through different compositional standards, frame little deals, gizmos here. And a lot of people don't realize that you can do that. So, but if you can look at this building or this photograph, you can kind of see what I had in mind when I was taking the photograph. I put you guys are seeing this, right? Okay. So I put the building right here where this these tangent lines or whatever they are cross each other here. And I put the horizon line right along with that too. And then the Milky Way came up at an angle out of that and kind of at that corner up there too. So can you kind of see what the heck I was looking at there? So yeah, we'll do some of this kind of stuff on the 12th. So tune in then. So in the meantime, thank you. I really appreciate everybody that showed up. I think I had like 10 people at one time. So thanks a bunch. And reach out to me if you need anything. I know I keep saying that, but I really appreciate you showing up. Talk to you soon. Bye.